are making overnight oats, yes, yet again, there is a beauty in overnight oats, and that is it is so versatile. You can make it anything you want. And today we are making Black Forest overnight oats. Why? Well, hi, I'm Lindsay, and here on the Plant Plan, I help folks eat well for health, longevity, muscle gain, and fat loss. And today we're going to be meal prepping. Why do we meal prep? For folks who are on either a muscle gain journey, a fat loss journey, or both. Hey, if you're trying to recomp, we're here for it. The reason we do that is if those are your goals, it's easier to remove all the barriers that are preventing that from happening. One of the things you do is you prep your meals beforehand to relieve decision fatigue, relieve that kind of what am I going to eat? Let me just grab whatever's available. It helps prevent all of that. It's not something you're focused on. It's something that you're just reaching into your fridge, grabbing, and going. And one of the best breakfasts for that is overnight oats. You prep them all together, you throw them in the fridge, and you just grab it. You don't even have to reheat it. If it's cold where you are and you would like warm oats, you could go ahead and do that. This one I do prefer to eat cold for a couple of reasons that will probably be clear to you in just a moment. In any case, another thing that I wanted to mention is that overnight oats is wonderful because it is so packed with nutrition. It has a lot of fiber that will help you stay fuller for longer. It has a lot of, well, the version that I'm making has a lot of protein as well, which also helps you stay fuller for longer. So this is a great version of this recipe. Another thing I've done here is I've added in some fruits. It's a good, nice boost of energy, but also it adds a bit of juiciness, a bit of interest in the meal, right? There's some pieces of sweetness that kind of jump out at you when you're enjoying it. Like I said, you can do so many different things in it. This is just one version. If you want another version or many other versions, just I'll add a whole playlist of the breakfast that I've made previously. A lot of them are oats. It's actually quite a simple recipe, so let's get started. All right, so here are all the ingredients we're going to need for our Black Forest overnight oats. So we have some oats, we have some chia seeds. Alternatively, you can use flax seeds, ground flax seeds preferably if you can. If you don't ground the flax seeds, of course there's some nutritional content that you won't really have access to. It'll just pass right through. But also it's not going to soak up a lot of the liquid, so it'll just kind of sit and float around in there. So chia seeds really, without grinding them, soaks up everything, so it makes a good texture and consistency. But flax seeds, you really should grind those for sure. Also, we have some dark chocolate chips right there. This one is dairy free because that's what I need. And here's some chocolate protein powder. Now this is kind of the secret weapon here. If you don't have access to protein powder or you prefer not to use it, you can certainly still make this recipe. I would swap this for maybe 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder or cacao powder. It's going to be a completely different macronutrient ratio, right? So that's why I'm using a chocolate protein powder. It's the best of both worlds, high protein and low-ish calories. So that's why I'm using that. Also, here are some defrosted cherries. I've forgotten to chop them up, but I'm going to show you a really easy way of going about this so you don't have to like get a cutting board and all that sort of stuff. And then I have this is the secret weapon here. This is some vanilla extract. Now this one, it's from Trader Joe's, the organic alcohol-free pure vanilla flavor. So if you wanted to have this whole recipe without the chocolate powder or without the cacao powder or whatever, you can just have a vanilla version with some cherries, and I think that would be amazing. In any case, we have a whole bunch of flavor boosters, but the base is really the oats and whatever seeds you're going to use, and obviously a cup of milk. So for the measurements, which I've hopefully put here this whole time, with the measurements that we have, 1 cup or 240 milligrams of, or milliliters, excuse me, of milk of whatever sort that you like would be appropriate. Now, what I'm using here is unflavored almond milk. Okay, that's going to be your most calorie friendly type milk that's available. They also have a cashew milk blend that I think is like 25 calories per cup or something ridiculous like that. It's basically water but creamier. So it's science is great. Anyway, so I've already put this in here. In most overnight oats recipes, and even mine that you've seen previously, I'll add all of the dry ingredients, then put the wet ingredients on top. For our purposes here, you'll see why I add it this way first, and that's because what I'll do here is I'll make essentially a protein shake first. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll move a few things around. Hopefully nothing is too off screen. So I want to do that without spilling. Look at me, she's professional. And then what we do is we close that up and then we start shaking. And there you go. Now if you open it up, I love jars. There's a little bit of crusting on top, but that'll be solved in just a moment. But the main thing that we wanted to do here is basically kind of break up that protein powder a little bit, and then be able to throw everything in, shake it again, and then now we're good to go. What I should have done actually is put a little bit of this. Why is this shut like that? Okay, we put a little bit of this vanilla. We should have shaken this up with it, but that's the beauty of this recipe. Actually, come on now, let's be real. Delicious. Now, here is the hack. With little things like this, just get your kitchen shears, right? Or if you have just a, clean, make sure that it's clean, right? Because you're going to be eating this. So I just like to cut this up. You can see how, especially if it's thawed, you can see how easy it is to break it up into little pieces. And I try to cut it into fourths at least. Really, the objective here is just to have little pieces of cherry goodness as we are enjoying this. Okay, and there we go. Simple as that. Also, I'm realizing how wild my calluses are. I don't know if this shows up on camera or not, but it is what it is. Deal with it. I walk my talk. I do lift weights. There's the proof. Okay, ugly hands. Ugly, rough hands that I don't hydrate enough with lotion. Okay, so this for me is going to be the hard part, putting all of this in here. But I have a solution. Okay, so this is what we're gonna use. We're gonna use a funnel. I have another funnel, but that is in the dishwasher. This is a funnel from my AeroPress. It's handy to have a second one sometimes for, situations like this. So that's why this one looks funny. It's kind of octagonal. I think there's still a little bit of coffee grounds left in it from this morning, but it will do. Okay, so we're just gonna plop it on top there, and of course I've made a mess with, okay, but this will make this a way more neat situation here. Okay, and now we're gonna mix in our cherry and that little bit of cherry juice that was in there, and we're gonna close it back up. More powder all over the place. Okay, and that's it. We're done. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of mine. But if you just want to make one to try it out and see how you would like to meal prep the rest of them throughout the week, you're welcome to do that, right? I always recommend doing stuff like that. If it's a meal prep, don't necessarily just blindly follow what someone else is doing. Make one version of it, or just pay attention to what they're making that you don't like or that you don't prefer, and then jazz it up how you want to. Tell me how you would jazz this up, right? So another thing I would do if I wasn't on camera is I would kind of just maybe take a spoon and swirl all that through. You see there's a little bit of dry protein powder still up top, but really it does not matter at all because when you go to eat this next day, you'll have your spoon on you, you'll stir it up anyway, you'll add some water if you want to change up the texture a little bit, and yeah, that's it. You're good to go. The one thing I wouldn't do though is I wouldn't wait to shake it up and make sure that everything is incorporated when you're going to eat it. So the way it's really liquidy now, it won't be like that in even a half hour or an hour, right? It'll be all combined. The oats and the seeds would have soaked up a lot of what you've put in there already. So make sure to shake it up as well as you can now, and then the rest of the little chunks and bits or whatever, if there's any, you can sort that out when you're actually eating it. So that is my Black Forest overnight oats. Go ahead and enjoy. Okay, so I'm filming the outro before I actually make the meal. Thank you for watching, for getting this far in the video. How would you change or adapt this recipe? There's a million different ways that you can do overnight oats, so you're going to see more overnight oats recipes on this channel eventually. Don't be mad, get glad, eat some oats, they're good for you. I love using rolled oats for overnight oats. They're kind of the perfect go-between. You could have them warm, you could have them cool. The texture is really good, but I know some people prefer using quick oats for overnight oats. Is that you? Explain to me your life choices, because for me that's a little too goopy, but you do you. While you're here, that little subscribe button, if you haven't clicked it, go ahead and do that. It's the price of admission. All right. See you soon. Bye. Y'all, not me recording this fucking intro and then it not recording. The hell did I even say?